Thank you. Welcome to Junket Jam Live, taped right here. Thank you so very much. Lovely to see you too. I'll catch you after the show. Welcome to Junket Jam Live, taped right here in New York City, where there are more Trump buildings than there are public schools, which may explain why that man is so goddamn mental. Now, public school is very important to me. It's actually where I first learned how to draw. My very first drawing was actually a heart, which when turned upside down becomes a nutsack. Our school was so underfunded that our fine art literature, you know, we got it off the bathroom walls. But I always loved art. I must have been 8 years old when my mother bought me my first art set, which was really weird because I never asked for that shit. But what I really did want was a power wheel, not a color wheel. She didn't get that memo. But I did enjoy watercoloring as a kid. My favorite color was yellow, and my favorite canvas was my bed. Now, as a teenager, I attended the High School of Art and Design, where I studied film. And you can see how far that got me. I host a public access show, guys. But high school was also where I met my very first boyfriend. He's actually a she now, which means at some point in my life, unbeknownst to me, I was also somehow a lesbian. But we are still friends, and we hang out all the time. But admittedly, walking around with her can be quite embarrassing. Which is probably why whenever I'm with her, she makes me wear a bag over my head. But like most women, she's actually quite beautiful. But if you ask me, I feel like most women wear entirely too much makeup. They just pile it on and end up covering the best part of their faces, which for me, of course, is their mustaches. Thank you, Renee. You know what else women love? I found women also love themselves some good painting parties. Now, if you've never been to a painting party, that's where adults pay $35 to do the very same thing a kindergartner does every day for free. And they let you bring your own booze. That way, you can get drunk enough and forget that you just spent $35 to do the same thing a kindergartner does every day for free. But it's always the same. Have you been to one? Have you been to any of these? Well, it's always the same three paintings. It's a silhouette of a tree. It's a flower on a tree. Or you could paint tree branches, which is like, you know, come on already. Just save your money and buy a plant. My husband has actually reserved a corner in our house for all of our party paintings. It's right in the garbage. I find that most people don't even paint for fun, right? They just, the only time they pick up a paintbrush is because they desperately need their security deposit back, right? But I actually first learned how to paint from my grandmother. And her most amazing artwork was what she did on her walls. She was just so wonderful at painting over roaches. Yeah. Her entire hallway looked like the lost city of Pompeii. And if you looked really closely at her walls, you could see the preserved remains of mother roaches just clinging on to their babies, asking themselves, why? Why is this woman painting us magenta? Now, Grandma was crafty too. If she didn't have the paint color she needed to complete a project, she did not let that stop her from using nail polish instead. Those projects usually just consisted of her initials. Those were those projects. On everything. But you know what else never stopped? Poor little Grandma. lines and corners. Believe it or not. The edges on her ceiling always looked like she had a painting party with Ray Charles. You need to come to every show. Now, one of Grandma's most ambitious projects, of course, was painting the outside of her house in Puerto Rico. So while most grandmas spent their time at Michael's looking for a spool of yarn, my grandmother spent her time outdoors looking for a heat stroke. And she found one all right. Try painting now, Grandma. Of course, the joke there is that she can't, right? She's dead. But at least she died doing what she loved, you know? Smoking. But the greatest lesson I learned from Grandma was how to be colorblind, which, if you ever saw any of her knitted scarves, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But I personally, I don't see black people as black, right? I see them as brown. And I don't see white people as white. I see them as the devil. I know that joke is so wrong on so many levels. White people actually make better liars than Satan. I know. Say what you will. My black friends love that joke. Okay. But think about it, right? A black man would never run a Ponzi scheme because he knows he doesn't need to lie to you in order to rob you, right? No. He's just gonna tell you straight up, yo, run your shit, motherfucker. You know what else you're never gonna see a man of color do that a white man probably will? Yeah, burn his Nikes. He's never gonna do that. That's because he likely already burned through his savings just to buy a pair. Now they say, I guess it's an old adage or whatever it is, they say be careful when buying someone you love a pair of shoes, right? Because they may just walk out of your life with that same very pair of shoes on. And I've got to say, you know, I've bought loved ones' shoes plenty of times. And believe it or not, even till this day, my mother refuses to leave. She won't go anywhere. Which is understandable because, you know, it's her house. Now, conversely, I have never bought shoes for any of my audience, but that has never stopped any of them from walking out in the middle of my act. Isn't that sad? But I'm glad you guys have stayed because we've got a great show for you. And we've got a great guest joining us. His name is Hector Miguel Lopez Jr. A name so long, it makes sense to say it again. Hector Miguel Lopez Jr. Actually, for the rest of the show, let's just call him Hector Lopez. Hector Lopez is coming up. Stick around, guys. You are watching Junket Jam Live. Thank you. Hang on. Hello there. My name is Gonzalez de Ponter. The first thing I like to do when I wake up from a nap is drink one cup of cafe. A nice good old sip of coffee helps me to, you know, paint. Oh, I just love painting. Here's one of my paintings. It's poo. Isn't that great? Here's another one. A nice big bowl of dark chocolate ice cream. I just love this one. This one I call mudslides. And my absolute favorite painting is this, of Seal. Heidi Klum sure let go of a good one there. That stupid puta. Anyway, I am here with my good friend who's also a painter. Say hi.
Hey.
His name is Hector Miguel Lopez Jr.
Yep, that's me.
He is what I would call un panter de las bodies.
Body painter. I'm a body painter.
You say tomato, I say avocado. Would you like something to drink?
Sure, thank you.
Just take it out. So Hector, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I'm a body painter, photographer, photo editor, and an illustrator. I just like creating stunning images.
Do you think you can make me into a stunning work of art?
I don't think so, buddy. Maybe. We'll see what we can do.
What can you tell us about body painting?
Well, the thing about body painting is... Damn.
So sorry about that. Where were we?
Body painting.
Ah, yes, bodies de las amigas painting together.
Whether it's on the body or on a canvas, the act of painting is all about self-expression.
You know, I self-express all the time, especially when I'm at my proctologist.
Yeah, I bet you do.
Now, what do you enjoy most about body painting?
I really enjoy creating the illusion.
So you paint, you draw, you dance, you take photos. Is there anything you can't do?
Nope.
Can you ride a bike?
Yep.
Can you tie your shoes?
Yeah.
Can you get to the center of a Tootsie Pop?
Yeah.
You, my friend, are a Renaissance man.
I like to think so.
So, what's next for you?
I don't know. Maybe a real interview with someone like Stephen Colbert? Relax. I was just kidding.
It's time for a lightning round of questions. Are you ready?
Yeah.
What was the last thing you created?
A cup of coffee.
What was the last thing you fixed?
My chair.
What is in your fridge right now?
Hot sauce.
Want something you've tried, but you'll never, ever, ever try again?
Salmon.
Would you care for something to snack on?
Sure. Why not?
Some fresh banana peels. I made them myself.
No thanks. Maybe next time.
All right, well, more for me. Hey, welcome back to Chuck and Jim Live. Thank you so very much. Thank you, guys. Calm down. Now, our special guest today is a self-taught artist who is an explorer and creator of all styles and types of art. He began his career in cartooning and illustration before expanding his skill into photography, photo manipulation, painting, and most notably, body painting. Not only does he have a wide range of artistic interests, but he prides himself as being a hands-on, do-it-yourself type of artist. His main focus is to create stunning images while leaving his models and clients in awe of their collaborative work. And he's here today to share and show us some of the marvelous works he does. Please help me welcome body painter, photographer, illustrator, photo magician, and the founder of Heloz Creative Arts. Please help me welcome Hector Lopez. Come on out, Hector. Hello there, sir. Thank you for joining me. Have a seat.
Good. All right.
I like how tense you were coming out here, like I have a shark out here or something under my desk.
Tense guy.
You're a tense guy.
Sometimes.
Well, get untense. Get untense. So, Hector, you have a long career in art. Now, I know you proclaim, obviously, to be self-taught, but you
Right.
had some training.
Well, I went to School of Visual Arts for about a year and a half.
So now you went to School of Visual Arts for cartooning.
Correct.
You were also introduced to sculpturing,
Yeah, it was pretty much an
painting,
introductory.
photography, yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, tell us a little bit about that. Well, obviously, you were always a cartoonist.
Yeah, my younger years, I had the interest in being a comic book artist.
Yeah.
So I went to the School of Visual Arts to pursue that.
Yes.
And the first year or so is mostly introduction into all different mediums.
Yes. But now, just even starting cartooning wasn't like, oh, I'm going to just draw today. That was kind of as you would say, a sibling rivalry thing. You were kind of like
Yeah.
pushed into it. Tell us about.
It was a challenge from my younger brother one day. He came home from school with some drawings that looked pretty decent
Yeah.
and said to me, "You can't do this."
Yeah.
I was like, "Me not be able to do something you can do?"
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Pushes over the table. I can!
And then I just picked up a few books and started copying, and I just never stopped. He
Yeah.
did, I didn't.
How instrumental then was cartooning in helping you to understand the human body?
Very instrumental. I mean, I had to figure out proportions and where the muscles went,
Yeah.
to make things look right. Otherwise, it all looks wonky and
Yeah.
nobody
Now
wants
was that all self-taught as well?
Yeah.
You kind of have like pick up books and
Pick up
figure out
books.
proportions and things like that.
Right. And just repetition, a lot of repetition.
Yes.
Trying to see what looks right to your eye.
Yeah. Now, aside from illustrating and painting, you at some point found the performing art of dancing.
I did.
Yes, tell us a little bit about that.
I took a few months of ballroom, and then after that evolved strictly, almost exclusively into salsa dancing.
Salsa dancing. So now you not only have you performed, you've taught,
I used to teach. I used
and you've
to perform.
competed.
A few times, not
Yes.
not often, but I did have a few competitions.
Yeah.
I did place in a couple.
Yeah, so now when you think about the solo act of cartooning, drawing, and whatever you do at home, obviously dancing is more a collaborative
Right.
thing to do. Was that a challenge for you?
No, actually, I mean, I didn't find it challenging like in a negative way.
Yes,
It was, all new forms of art are a challenge,
yes,
but I didn't find stress from it.
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
Did it help at all? I mean, you're coming out of your own
It did,
solo zone.
yeah, cartooning and that type of art, you tend to stick into your little corner by yourself,
Yeah.
and I wasn't very social at that time.
Yeah,
Dancing,
it was very helpful then.
dancing was very helpful for my social life, yes.
Okay, so now we talk about obviously dancing as a performing arts, but obviously just like drawing, it helps you understand body movement.
Yep, yes it does. With what I do now with the photography stuff, it helps me better understand how to tell a model how to pose,
Yes,
how to stretch a line or place a foot
yeah,
for a more pleasing image.
yeah. So obviously there's a lot of skills you also have attained in dancing.
Yeah,
So you took some time away from painting.
I took a good number of years away from my that type of art, yeah.
Yes. So, but now eventually you did find it again. right? And your first, I guess, foray back into picking up the brush, you had a friend ask you if you could do a nude painting of her. Yeah. What a lucky guy, this guy.
It was actually someone I had previously dated.
Oh, okay.
And she...
You were not dating anymore.
We were no
by this
longer
point.
dating, but
okay.
she had expressed before we stopped dating an interest in doing nude portraits. And one day she just said, "Hey, I want to give this a go." And I painted her. And once other people found out I did this painting, they wanted to get their own paintings done. And it kind of steamrolled. I did a few of those.
So it kind of thrust you back into
it kind of
painting,
put me right back into
kind
my
of into
art
visual
world,
arts. Okay, so now let's talk about body painting. Specifically, you know, when you think of body painting, it could seem provocative, right? A provocative art. It's the skin is the actual canvas, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Now you were first inspired because Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition did a few magazine covers where the bikinis were body painted on them.
Right.
Did you have a specific cover that you like?
No, I mean, it wasn't so much that I was focused on those magazines.
Yes.
I'd seen news reports about it. And I was actually kind of fascinated in the fact that they really looked like bikinis.
Yeah.
I was like, holy, wow, it's amazing.
Yeah.
But when I saw those, I was a young teenage boy.
Yes.
It's not something I thought I could get into. Like, it just didn't seem plausible at the time.
What made you start this craft then? I mean, you said you were a young boy at the time when you first seen it and you first heard about it. How did you get into it?
It was actually the same person.
Yeah.
The same person who asked me to paint her in a acrylic painting.
Right.
Said, you know what? I want to try body painting.
Body painting.
Now she kind of chickened out.
Oh.
Okay. But someone else I had been dating, also no longer with, but I had previously been dating, said she would give it a go because my interest was piqued. I thought about it. I went to the local Halloween store and asked them about body paint and, you know, tried to find it was a bit of an exploration, trying to find the right materials. At the time, you can find it more now, but at the time it was a little bit more complex.
It wasn't as available as it is now.
The information on it.
The market, I guess, wasn't as big.
The information on it wasn't as readily available, even online.
All right, so now you do incredible body painting work. Now I specifically have some photos to share with our audience here. Now this piece you called, it's a dragon armor. This is a great model, by the way. Now how long does a piece like this take you to do? Obviously, it's a piece of art.
Right. I have a general time frame for pretty much everything I do.
Yeah.
It's about between 4 to 5 hours. When it's a larger piece, I don't have to be as in-depth with the minor details. So I can do broader, larger information pieces. Whereas where it's smaller, I go more in detail. And,
Yeah, because this is obviously...
This is a larger piece.
Her whole body is the canvas. And now this one is called Baby in Time.
Yes.
An Expected Mother.
Yep.
That's kind of fun. I feel like you should just go into your baby shower painted like this. Now, what happened here? How did you specifically ask for an expectant mother to do a project on?
I actually got on Facebook and I said, I need someone who's about to have a baby because I have an idea. And this is how most of my stuff happens. I have an idea and I make a call out, listen, I need a model. Who wants to volunteer for this concept?
Any takers? So now, is it a misconception that body painting is just for women? You've done men too, right?
I've painted men. Body painting in general, body painting and face painting, because it's two different crafts that align themselves, is mostly female dominated.
Yes.
Especially as models, you have more women who request it or ask you to be painted. But there are guys out there who want to get painted. There's just not as many, and we don't discriminate. If the idea is there, we give it to whoever needs it. Male
or female, large or small, you've worked on many projects since. Has there ever been like a project that you worked on and for whatever reason you just had to discard? Maybe it just wasn't working out.
That happens not often, but it does happen. There's sometimes where you sometimes you bite off more than you can chew, or the vision wasn't as clearly there.
Yeah.
And as it's on a person, it's very difficult to start over after you spent 2 hours and it's just not working.
And that's it. And that, are you done with it then, or do you come back and revisit it?
It depends. Most models are cool with the idea of coming back for it. I haven't had really anyone say like, "Ugh, I'm not working with you." It's understandable.
How dare you? You didn't finish my tits. Yeah.
It's art, you know, like, and most people who come know that, you know, you're not always going to have a great day.
Yeah. So now one of your biggest supporters in your endeavors is your mother, right? But
Absolutely.
she's also your most honest critic. What does she think about, you know, you painting boobs and junk?
She loves it.
Yeah.
She actually, I was surprised by that actually when I first started putting it out there. My mom doesn't shy away from it. She shows her friends. And my father's also a big supporter.
Yeah.
And both of them have copies of my entire collection. My father's a big advocate of posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
And like, check out my son's work.
So, Hector, hang out, because we are going to take a quick break, right?
Okay.
All right, guys, so hang out. We're going to come back more with Hector Lopez. Thank you, guys. This is Junkie Jam Live. Welcome back to Junkie Jam Live, everyone. Thank you. I am here sitting with the very talented body painter, photographer, illustrator, and photo editor, Mr. Hector Lopez. Hello, Hector.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello. So now, even before body painting, because we talked obviously a lot about that, you discovered a love for photography.
Yes.
So you have family members who are photographers, right?
I do, yes. I have 2 uncles.
Yeah.
And yeah, 2 uncles who were professionally in the business for a while.
Yeah.
Photo editing.
Were they thrilled that you picked up the art as well?
I think they're very happy and proud of what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we call what you do photo magic, which we're going to look into. But for what you do as a photo manipulator, you combine your body painting work with your photography work, with your Photoshop work, right?
Right.
Tell us a little bit about that process.
So each picture is going to be different depending on what the concept is.
Yes.
Some are going to have more manipulations to it. I do have one rule when I manipulate something that involves body painting, is I do not redo the paint.
Right.
I try to keep the integrity of what I've painted to where it's, to what it was as I painted it.
Yes.
And then I will manipulate everything around
it. This one is entitled Mother of Dragons, obviously inspired by Game of Thrones. And now this is a body painting. Obviously you body painted her.
Correct.
Now how do you start off? Do you have an idea of the set and then you bring in the model, or?
A really rough idea of what the set is going to look like.
Right. So then the telling of the story then always begins with the body painting.
It begins with the body painting.
Right. Okay. This next one, obviously, it's a timely one. Captain Marvel.
Yes, Captain Marvel coming out next year.
Yes, that's right. And the trailers are already out. This looks great. I love this. Is that you, by the way, in the moon up there? Whose planet is it?
That is, that was a little nerdy reference. That is my face. That
is your face.
That's supposed to be Ego, the living planet in the background.
Okay. Something I don't get, but yes.
Guardians of the Galaxy reference.
Okay. So now it's one thing to paint your model and one thing to paint their body.
Right.
Right? Is it a different thing? Do you have to ask them, are they comfortable with also being photographed?
No. It's pretty much understood that if you're getting body paint, the purpose is for the photography.
Photograph. That's the end
All
result.
my body paint is with the end result of having that final image through photography.
And they understand that before coming in.
Yes.
Now,
that's the reason they pretty much ask me.
Is there something that you do to ensure that your model is as comfortable as possible when they arrive to your studio?
I don't do anything, like I don't have any rituals to bring them comfort. Comfort is important to me, and I just converse with them. I give them the time. Especially if they're new, I deal with a lot of people who are new, have never modeled before. And I just give them the time to get comfortable. We talk for a while and.
Right. Now, obviously, we're in the midst of a big movement, right? The Me Too movement. Is this something that you set up even before meeting, right? Before meeting to body paint, do you meet with them for a cup of coffee?
Not always, no.
Yeah.
Some people do request that. I get a lot of people who model for me organically.
Yeah. Because obviously they've seen the work that you've already done.
And I will already have met them.
At some point, you didn't really have a portfolio to show new models.
Right. That was beginning stages.
So they were just going off your word. Like, this is what it's going to look like.
Right. Fortunately, the first few times, I also had some friends who were very open about their bodies.
Yeah.
And when
so you had some volunteers.
I did have a few volunteers. It was slow going. There weren't that many in the beginning.
So now, Heloz Creative, am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah.
Heloz?
Heloz.
Oh, Heloz. Heloz.
It's basically a breakdown of my name.
Yes, Hector Lopez.
Right.
So now, Heloz Creative Arts. What led you to this decision to actually start branding your work?
Mostly because if you Google Hector Lopez, artist, any type of artist, you're going to get a million hits.
Yeah.
So it was a way to stand out amongst a sea of a common name online. I don't go by that name like if we're having a conversation, but if you are looking for me online, it is my online presence.
Yes.
This is how you find me.
Is there a specific reason that you decided mainly to just use your body painting for your creative works instead of just for the sake of making somebody's fantasy reality?
If I just took every job that came to me, I'd be doing 5,000 mistakes. Yeah. And I'd get bored pretty fast.
I want to be all blue. Yeah. Nobody ever wants to be a Smurfette. Why is that?
No.
So, well, you are also a good friend. I want to show the audience because as a photographer, you did the lovely favor of taking me and my husband's wedding photos.
I did.
Yeah, and you did the same thing. So you not only gave us photographs, but you did also do some photo magic.
Yes.
And made us look nice and shiny and special. So thank you for that. You know, models are great. We love models. But women who have lived in a White House, I think, are more interesting, right, guys? Wouldn't you think? Women who have lived in the White House?
In the White House? Sure.
Yeah. So now, in thinking about the women who have once lived in the White House, we have put your body paint on famous first ladies. And we're going to have a look at that right now, yes?
Okay.
Is that cool?
I'm curious.
So now these are some of the photos we have already seen earlier. So this is Mother of Dragons, right? And the first lady wearing this is Jackie O. Isn't that?
Okay.
And now this one is the baby in time.
Okay.
And our model for this one, Hillary. Yeah. I couldn't help myself. I just had to make her literally into a bobblehead.
At least the hair matches.
Now this is your dragon. And then this one is modeled by the lovely Michelle Obama, who looks like she's jackhammering now, right? Yes. And now,
as you see, it's dragon's face.
Yeah. Oh well. Now I can see it. That's the eyes, or her tits. Okay. Captain Marvel, right? And of course, we couldn't go anywhere without giving it to Melania. Look at that. Yay. Now, for those interested in finding your work and anything about you, it's Heloz. Heloz. CreativeArts.com. We could also find you on Instagram.
Instagram, same.
Heloz. _creative_arts.
Right.
So guys, hang out. We have more with body painter over here and photographer and photo manipulator, Hector Lopez. We are going to look at Heloz Creative Arts. Stick around. Welcome back to Junket Jam Live, everyone. Thank you. Now, walking us through some of his fine work is body painter, photographer, illustrator, and photo editor. He's also founder of Heloz, Creative Arts. Please help me welcome again, Mr. Hector Lopez. Hello, Hector.
Hello.
So now you do incredible work. You have a collection of work that you do each year, right? And so I want to start with year 2016.
Okay.
Right? So now let's start with this one. Now this one is a photo manipulation alter ego. It also falls under self-portrait. Tell us a little bit about this piece.
So this piece is a composite. Every character in here is me.
Yes.
A little manipulated on some of them.
Yes.
You know, I mean, I don't have any tattoos.
Yes. You don't have these abs, I imagine.
That's not true, I do.
Oh, yeah. You're not this short.
And I don't have a big beard like this.
You do not.
So, yeah, the background is completely fabricated in Photoshop.
Photoshop, yeah.
This is also my hand. A piece like this, it's in depth, so I probably spent a few days working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously not only just yourself, but a few different components. Yeah. Obviously, you have different head sizes and different body shapes.
Right.
How did you come up with this idea? What inspired you?
You know, it was so long ago, I don't remember how I came up with it.
I love it. It's a great piece. Now, this is a body paint.
This is body paint.
Strictly body paint.
Correct.
Tell us a little bit about this piece. Because I know you said it was intended to be a practice piece.
This was practice. I was interested in putting more depth into the illusion of depth into my body paints. So I started with a one-point perspective. I asked my friend Alice here if she would loan me her body.
Yes.
And I basically created it so it's all going towards her head.
It's a pretty cool shot. 2017, another year of work. This one is entitled Coffee Lovers, right? And this is another composite body paint photo, right? So now there's two of you body painted in here. The model is Jessica.
My model, Jessica.
And that is you.
That's right. That's actually me in this photo.
Did this obviously with a friend.
Correct.
You both share a love of coffee, but you also both share a birthday.
And a love of body paint.
And a love of body painting. So how did this painting come about?
So, 2015, I first met Jessica. I first worked with Jessica, and I've always known she was an addict to coffee. And I had this idea for a coffee piece, and I told her, I want you for the piece.
One day.
I did, and I just had to find a guy. And one day, last year, I was thinking about the pose and how I wanted almost a dancer's pose.
Yes. Pose.
That's when I decided I wanted to put myself into the piece with her.
Right.
As we both shared a birthday.
Yes.
We both love coffee. We both love body paint. It just kind of seemed like a no-brainer.
Yes.
She painted me. I painted her.
Well, it looks good. You guys did a great job here. All right. So now this next one, lastly, we have bibliophilia. Yes. And this is photo manipulation.
Right.
Now, it's a composite piece because of all the pieces you use. You guys can't tell. But each book is a different picture.
Each book is one photo, yes, of the same book, just twisted and turned. It's still every single layer is another picture.
Yeah. How long did this piece take? At least photography-wise.
Photography-wise, I took photos of her. Within an hour, I was done.
Yes. She was done. Her part was done.
I knew what I wanted with her. And,
yeah.
You know.
So now, obviously, this stemmed from a vision. You wanted to create a dress of floating books.
Correct.
Why? Just because?
Yeah, I mean,
what was the inspiration?
I saw a picture of someone in rocks. It was like a rock dress.
Yeah.
I didn't want to recreate that. I just liked the style of it. And I was like, a dress made of something different, books. And then I'm thinking books, and I'm thinking books that are floating and books that are moving. And she could just read one book here and then read another one here and switch. This is my best friend, and she has a love for books. And this kind of helped inspire where it went.
Yeah. And this is Carmen, by the way, and today's her birthday.
Yesterday.
Happy birthday, Carmen! in your business and under Heloz, You obviously sell reprints of these, you sell metal reprints of these, but you also make playing cards of your photos,
I do.
So let's step over and we're going to look at some of your playing cards here. Okay, so now these are your playing cards.
Right. This deck of cards is strictly my body paints.
Yes.
These are a collection of 54 of my favorite body paints that I've done.
Yes. So you have poker playing cards and you have bridge playing cards. What the hell is the difference?
Bridge cards are a little more slender.
Yeah.
There's just a different format for them.
Yeah.
I've never played bridge.
Yeah.
They just fit some of my images better.
Yeah. So now with the poker playing cards, you have a collage of all your paintings. That's me and my husband there in the corner there. One painting there. And then each card has a different photo.
Correct.
Of one of your favorite.
Correct.
Now, how did you decide what goes into the playing card other than it being your favorite?
Oh man, it was a lot of. I have a lot of pieces.
Yeah.
Some of it was, did it represent my current skills enough?
Yes.
There's some pieces that I like that didn't make the deck because they just weren't. They were just too far back.
I love that. So now, when you guys are at home and you're playing poker with a unique Heloz playing deck, not only are you smoking and drinking, but you also get painted titties. That's great. I like that. So, but now, other than you have the playing cards, people can also find out about your prints. They can also order prints of everything on these cards. But you also sell uncut sheets of playing cards.
Of this deck, yes.
Of this deck. Yeah. Why? Why would someone need an uncut sheet of cards?
Because it could make for some great wall art.
Yeah.
You know, just have a nice wall of cards.
Wall of cards, obviously, with all the photos.
All the art,
on them.
and you could have all the art up at one time.
For more information about Hector Lopez, you could find that on his website, helozcreativearts.com. Stay tuned, because Hector here is going to be joining me for a quick game. This is Junket Jam Live. Welcome back to Junket Jam Live, everyone. Yay! It is time to play a game. Now, many of our Hollywood friends are far more talented than we think. Not only can they dance, sing, and act, but some of them can even draw or paint. Except for Gwyneth Paltrow. Her extra artistic talents are limited to just drawing on the walls with crayons, and of course, riding her mother's coattails. But for everyone else, there lies inside of them hidden masterpieces, and we will discover who these celebrity artists are together in a game I originally called Famous Artworks, but then I shortened it to just Fartworks. Now, playing today with me is, of course, body painter and photographer Hector Lopez. Hector Lopez. You ready to play?
Ready to play.
Okay, it's real simple. I'm going to show you the actual artwork. Okay. I'm going to read you a clue, and all you have to do is wait till I'm done with the clue, of course, and then you can guess who they are.
Okay.
You ready?
Yep.
Okay, your first clue. This Oscar-winning actor most likely enjoyed a bit of fava beans and a nice Chianti before painting this piece entitled Aloha Nua Aloha.
See, like I know who it is.
But you don't know the name.
The name is just left my head.
Okay, well, it is Sir Anthony Hopkins.
That's what it was. Yes.
That's who it is. All right. So here is the next clue. Another Englishman, singer, songwriter, multi-instrumentalist, and composer, has made a fortune being the frontman of the most popular and influential bands in the history of pop music. Unfortunately, he still decided to sell this unstellar artwork entitled Beach Towels for thousands of dollars. I don't know why. Who is he?
Bono?
Bono. It's Sir
Jagger.
Paul McCartney.
I don't know. I suck at this.
That's all right. You can still redeem yourself.
Celebrities.
You ready for the next clue?
Yeah, sure.
The actress who painted this piece entitled Adieu, Forever Goodbye, once played a Japanese assassin who got her head sliced off by a real Hattori Hanzo sword, but she's actually Chinese. You didn't see Kill Bill. It is Lucy Liu. Not good on pop culture?
Not good on people's names.
Oh, no. You're not going to win anything.
I'm not going to win the game
bad
at all.
Okay. This piece called Road to Happiness is the name of this serene piece painted by the actor forever known as the rebel without a cause.
Dean. What's his name again?
His name is James Dean.
James Dean. See, that's what I was thinking. I was on Dean first.
Yes, you'll start with Dean first. Okay. Are you ready, Lopez Hector?
I'm ready.
Okay, here's your next clue. Just because this untitled head sculpture of teddy bears was made by an acting and singing vegan doesn't mean she doesn't still party in the USA.
Miley Cyrus.
Yes, this was made by Miley Cyrus. Kind of looks like
I'm
her,
mad that
right?
that's the only one that I need.
Now, here's the next piece. This American actor, film director, screenwriter, producer, and playwright uses a continued theme of clocks in his painting. I guess that's the clock right there.
Thought that was a motorcycle.
But based on his past films, playing both a reigning world heavyweight champion and in another film, a soldier who's skilled at hand-to-hand combat and gunfire, you definitely don't ever want to get clocked by him personally.
Stallone?
Yes, it is Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, that's who it is. Good job. This English singer and songwriter who painted this piece entitled Child in Berlin, it is a good piece, right?
It's good.
Was an amazing musician, but calling him an amazing actor means you've probably never seen him co-starring with puppets in Jim Henson's Labyrinth. You forgot his name, didn't you?
Because I'm on the spot.
That doesn't count.
On the spot?
Whose spot are you on?
Because his face is right here.
Yeah.
It's right here.
He had two different color eyes. He was married to Iman.
Yeah.
He's dead.
I know, recently too.
It's David Bowie.
That's the name.
Here's your next painting. All right? It is no accident that this musician, most known for his anti-religious, sexually charged, violent, and drug-themed music, was the creator of this dark art piece that continues to reflect his point of view of the world and the beautiful people who inhabit it. Who is he?
What?
Did you guys guess it? Yeah, it's Marilyn Manson. I think you'll get this one.
Okay.
All right? This lovely, love-struck creature and actress actually painted this even lovelier piece for her lover, JFK.
Marilyn Monroe.
Yes. Marilyn Monroe. One last one. You ready?
Oh, I'll swing. Okay.
Okay. This wax pencil rendering of Marilyn Monroe most likely also served as a self-portrait, despite the fact that the legendary musician and icon who drew it was himself a black man.
Say what?
Okay, he grew up in a famous band as a child.
Michael Jackson?
Yes, it's Michael Jackson. There you go. You don't think he look alike? No. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it.
I rocked it.
Thank you so very much, Hector. More Junkie Jam Live up next. Thank you, guys. As we wind down to the end of this episode of Junkie Jam Live, I am reminded just how resilient, dedicated, and amazingly talented the women in my life are. As a man, I am a mere observer and beneficiary of their brave and oftentimes difficult choices. In America, the supposed land of the free, many women have had to fight for years for the right to vote, the right to choose, equal pay, and a platform to be heard. Yet, after 240 years since declaring independence from Britain, America has yet to conclude that maybe we could use a queen here as well. No offense to Queen Bey, who looks, sings, and dances amazingly well, but perhaps it's about time that our daughters of all colors and all American women feel deserving enough to add Mrs. President to their list of aspirations. Maybe not all women. Sarah Palin still thinks Al Pacino is something you order off a Starbucks menu. Now, we've come close to having a woman president, but America thought electing an infant with a tantrum would be cuter. That accomplishment by a woman, regardless of who she was, should not be discounted, and we should remember the large significance of coming so close. In fact, I know plenty of women who have always come so close, but never do. But I wouldn't know about that, because that's just gross. That's their lover's problem. History tells us that it was an American man that first landed on the moon, but no emphasis ever placed on the fact that he staked his claim with a flag that was designed and stitched by hand by a woman. We associate America with apple pie, yet I'm pretty sure it wasn't a man who first baked one. But it probably was a man who first ate one and then told his woman to get the hell back into the kitchen and clean up that goddamn mess you made. Our favorite cinema classics prescribe to us that it is a man's sole duty to forever come to the rescue of a dame in distress, when in fact it was beauty who saved the beast. We are taught that behind every great man is an even greater woman. Yet, when a woman is finally promised a place on the front of a $20 bill, her slave owner is still to remain on the other side, because apparently, in America, behind every great woman is an asshole. But just in case anyone was wondering, this administration has since scrapped that plan. When a woman is raped, she is asked what she was wearing to attract such attention. The man who raped her is simply asked to provide an alibi. When a woman demands her right to choose, a man is first asked what he thinks about that choice. When a man's genitals has wandered, the woman is asked and expected to forgive, forget, and to take his side. Just ask Hillary. When a man runs for president, he is asked to take a picture with a baby. When a woman runs for president, she's not even considered soft enough to hold one. If we still believe that a woman isn't strong, reliable, or trustworthy enough to safekeep our future, then let's just stop calling our planet Mother Earth and start referring to it as one of Father's big balls. Guess what, Mom? You're still expected to lick them clean. Somehow in America, we've imparted our sons and daughters with the impression that a father's mistake is nothing more than a mere indiscretion. Locker room talk, they call it. Meanwhile, anything less than perfection from our mother makes her a pitiless witch. A man behind a wheel who has lost his way is a curious wanderer. A lost woman behind that same wheel is an unreliable crackpot who can't drive. Wake up, America. We can't afford to keep overlooking our women and discounting their moment in history just because small men on big soapboxes weren't impressed with their choices. What we are asking for is a much-needed new start. What this country needs is a woman's touch from someone who doesn't care about Democrat or Republican, but understands the power of not just the generosity of humans, but of her own strength. But mainly, we need you, Oprah, to help cure our society of the BBQ Beckys and the Permit Patties who continue to underscore that racism has gone rampant under our current leadership. Now I know she said no already, but we're really only asking for 4 years at the very least. We're not asking for free cars or even free healthcare. We just want to be free from the bullshit. We just want to be free. So come on, Oprah. There's ice cream in it for you, I promise. I would like to thank the studio audience for hanging out with us today. Thank you so very much. Our special guest, Hector Lopez, thank you.
Thank you.
For sharing his talent and insight. This show would be nothing without its crew. So a big thank you to Nicole, Maureen, Lee, and to quote the late great Spanish painter, sculptor, poet, and playwright Pablo Picasso, every child is an artist. Stay creative, everyone. This is Junkie Jam Live. Thank you.